Hi, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. ఇది ప్రవాస ఆంధ్రులకు ఉండే చెప్పడం. సో హియర్ ఈ రోజు మనము స్పెషల్ లైవ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ అమెరికన్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ సిస్టమ్ మీద మనం లైవ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేయబోతున్నాము. సో ఈ రోజు మనకు జనత ఆఫీస్ ఆఫ్ జనత లా ఫ్రమ్ Janetha or Kancharla is joining today, and we can discuss more points on current process US immigration system, and we can discuss all topic GC retrogression and job portability and advanced current GC process. What are the GC numbers for 2023 and H1 and H4? So last 1.5 years నుంచి US immigration process చాలా మందికి చాలా హోప్స్ ఇచ్చాయి. తర్వాత later అందరికీ డిసప్పాయింట్మెంట్ ఉన్నది. సో ఈరోజు మనం పాయింట్ టు పాయింట్ డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. మ్యాక్సిమం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని అందరికీ అర్థమయ్యే విధంగా ట్రై చేద్దాము. సో ఎంత లేమన్ టైప్లో ఎంతవరకు ట్రై చేస్తాం అందరికీ అర్థమయ్యే విధంగా. సో ఓకే, లెట్స్ ఇన్వైట్ జనేత టు ద లైవ్ షో. వెల్కమ్ జనేత గారు, వెల్కమ్ టు లైవ్ షో.
Thank you, Venkat garu. Thank you to NRI Radio.
Yeah. So Janetha or Kancharla గురించి చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. యుఎస్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ సిస్టమ్ లో చాలా మందికి తెలుసు, పరిచయం అవసరం లేదు. మనము జనత గారితో చాలా ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశాము లాస్ట్ టైం. స్టిల్ వీఆర్ కంటిన్యూయింగ్ విత్ జనత, గివింగ్ మోర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ టు ద కమ్యూనిటీ అండ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ద యుఎస్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ సిస్టమ్ అండ్ గివింగ్ ద అక్యురేట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ టు the applicants or whatever US immigration system. Yeah, thank you, Annie. So just we can discuss, just first question is, can you give the more information, what is the current immigration process and system? Then we can go for the topic wise.
Yeah, I mean, manaki, administration change in tarvata, when Democrats came into, I mean, of course they promised a lot of things, but manaku వాళ్ళు ప్రామిస్ చేసినట్టుగా it's ఇంకా ఫాస్ట్ ట్రాక్ అవ్వలేదు. వెయిట్ టైమ్స్ కానివ్వండి, ఇఫ్ యూ లుక్ ఇన్ టు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కొన్ని ఏరియాస్ ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే యూ యూజ్ 539 ఫార్మ్ ఫర్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఆఫ్ స్టేటస్ ఫర్ డిపెండెన్స్, చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ స్టేటస్, ఇది చాలా పెండింగ్ లో ఉంది. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ సర్టన్ పేరెంట్స్ అప్పుడు పాండమిక్ లో వచ్చినప్పుడు B2 ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ చేశారు కొంతమంది. సో అవి ఇంకా ఓవర్ 12 months అయినా కూడా అవి ఇంకా పెండింగ్ లో ఉన్నాయి, అట్లీస్ట్ 12 to 18 months. సో ఈ బ్యాక్లాగ్ అంతా క్లియర్ కావాలి. ఎస్పెషల్లీ అంటే ఇమిగ్రేషన్ అనగానే ఏంటి అని అంటే దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ డెడ్ లైన్, అంటే ఒక ఈ పర్టికులర్ డే వరకు వాళ్ళ కంట్రీలో ఉండగలుగుతారు అని ఆ నెక్స్ట్ డే నుంచి వాళ్ళు కంట్రీలో ఉండాలి అంటే దే హ్యావ్ టు హ్యావ్ సంథింగ్ లైన్డ్ అప్. ఒక పేరెంట్స్ కి చూసుకుంటే మనం వీ కెన్ ఓన్లీ ఆస్క్ ఫర్ 6 months, బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రెడిక్యులస్. ద పిటిషన్స్ ఆర్ పెండింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ 12 to 18 months. ఈలోగా ఆబ్వియస్లీ దే లీవ్ ది కంట్రీ. వాళ్ళు అడిగిన 6 months లోగా అప్రూవ్ అవ్వదు పిటిషన్ కాబట్టి. సో ఇట్లాగే అంటే సెవరల్ అదర్స్, అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఎస్పెషలీ ఏజింగ్ అవుట్ కిడ్స్ ఎవరైతే H4 లో ఉండి వాళ్ళ 21 తర్వాత F1 కి చేంజ్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నారు, వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలా ఛాలెంజెస్ ఫేస్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నారు. అంటే రీసెంట్ గా నాట్ రీసెంట్ బట్ ఈ టైమ్ లైన్స్ తో ఏంటి అని అంటే ఇట్స్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ టేకింగ్ మోర్ టైమ్. 12 to 18 months అంటే దే హ్యాడ్ టు ప్లాన్ అహెడ్ ఇన్ దట్ మేనర్. సో ఎక్కువగా వాళ్ళు కంట్రీ బయట వెళ్ళి రావడానికి ఇష్టపడట్లేదు, ఎందుకంటే ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ ఛాలెంజెస్. ద రీజన్ ఈజ్ parents being inside the country in the United States, sometimes they might not be able to prove that they have those kind of home country ties ఉన్నాయని. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఇక్కడ చదువుకొని ఉంటారు, ఎప్పుడో మిడిల్ స్కూల్లోనో ఎలిమెంటరీ స్కూల్లోనో వచ్చినప్పుడు. సో దట్ ఈస్ వన్ థింగ్. అండ్ ఎస్పెషలీ రీసెంట్ గా చూస్తే premium process, it's always going good, but yes, sometimes it's coming back with an RFE time buying technique, which we all know how it works. And ఇంతకు ముందు ఈ ప్రీమియం ప్రాసెస్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ H1 కి ఉన్నప్పుడు మేబీ couple 3 years ago they used to adjudicate H4s కూడా అట్లా చేసేవాళ్ళు ప్రీమియం లో. We are seeing couple of cases on those lines. మళ్ళీ kind of they are coming back into track and then adjudicating in that manner. But anyway, అంటే మనం ఎలా తీసుకున్నా కూడా it's kind of, ups and downs, some kind of hiccups in the process all the time. So, one advice to the listeners always, to make sure that you are filing petition ahead of time. Usually, most of the petitions 180 days time frame ఉంటుంది. So, make utilize of that time proper గా deadline ఎప్పుడో చూసుకొని 180 days before file చేస్తే at least you'll be beneficial in certain manner.
Yeah. Thank you for information. I think a caller join ఉంటుంది. First మనం ఒక కాల్ తీసుకొని next we can go for the topic wise. Yeah, welcome to TeluguNRI. Your call 2163178. Hello. Okay, I think mute lo మాట్లాడుతుంది లేకపోతే so whenever you're ready, maybe we can take your question if you have any. Okay. So Janetha garu, just we are discussing about the B2 pending application. Yeah, you're right. అంటే the current USCS process అనేది too delay ఉంది అన్ని categories లో. So విజిటింగ్ వీసా మీద వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు అప్లై చేసిన తర్వాత మేబీ ఇట్ టేకింగ్ 12 to 18 months, రైట్? సో మేబీ ఆఫ్టర్ 6 months కానీ 8 months కానీ వాళ్ళు కంట్రీ లీవ్ అయితే ఏమన్నా అప్లికేషన్ ప్రాసెస్ కి ప్రాబ్లం అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంటుందా నెక్స్ట్ టైం యూఎస్ కి ఎంట్రీ అయ్యేటప్పుడు?
అంటే ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ డెఫినెట్ గా వాళ్ళు అంటే ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాల్సిన సినారియో ఉంటుంది. సో లెట్స్ సే కొంతమంది పీపుల్ కి అయితే what we are witnessing, biometrics kuda వాళ్ళ కంట్రీ వదిలి వెళ్ళిపోయినప్పుడు వచ్చాయి. So what we did was, biometrics ki response చేస్తూ that, whatever the benefits out of the petition అడిగారో, they already left the country because of course they cannot even stay more than 6 months. And both biometric center ki రాయడము that they cannot attend అని. And also at the same time we told them that, not to deny because they left, because 6 months time frame ki అడిగాము, but because of the adjudication delays ఇది ఇంత టైం పట్టింది బయోమెట్రిక్స్ రావడానికి. సో ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ డినై అప్రూవ్ అన్నట్టుగా రాసాము, బట్ వి స్టిల్ డిడ్ హియర్ ఫ్రమ్ దెమ్. సో అట్లీస్ట్ అంటే మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ ట్రిప్ లో వాళ్ళు యుఎస్ కి రావాలనుకున్నప్పుడు అంటే కొన్ని జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాలి. లైక్ ఈ ఏదైతే రిసిప్ట్ నోటీస్, ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ రిసిప్ట్ నోటీస్ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉందో అది పెట్టుకోవడము ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో అట్ ద పోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంట్రీ దే కెన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద సిచ్యువేషన్, దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ అడ్జుడికేషన్ డిలేస్ వల్ల. So some people, they are already entering and still the previous petition is pending. That is one thing the officer can clearly see that, it's backlogged so much. So at least my recommendation is be aware, what went on with the petition. Endukante most of the time parents ki kids chestu untaru kabatti they might not even have an idea what to say. So especially it's a responsibility of the kids, letting them know, giving them those kind of receipt notices and letting them know this is what you need to explain. Chupichadamu receipt notice that they stayed inside the country during that 6 months time frame based on that receipt notice, and whatever the time frame వాళ్ళు అడిగిన time ki we left the country అనేది వాళ్ళు explain చేయగలిగితే I think they will not have any issues.
ఓకే. సో విజిటర్ వీసా మీద వచ్చిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళు ఒకవేళ ఎక్స్టెండ్ చేయాలనుకుంటే ఎన్ని డేస్ బిఫోర్ వాళ్ళు చేసుకోవచ్చు?
At least 90 days before they are eligible to go ahead and apply. But చాలా మటుకు లాస్ట్ మినిట్ లో లైక్ 30 days లో 60 days బిఫోర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. మేబీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ కొన్ని మెడికల్ ఎమర్జెన్సీస్ వల్ల స్పెసిఫిక్ గా అయితే పాండమిక్ లో లైక్ ఫ్లైట్స్ లేకపోవడము, దే వాంటెడ్ టు లీవ్ బట్ దే వెయిటెడ్ టిల్ లాస్ట్ మినిట్. But eligibility is 90 days before cheyochu. But anytime up until I would say 20-30 days before is also fine. But if you plan ahead of time, yes, mem tapakunda another 6 months untamani anukunnappudu it's better to do it 90 days ahead of time.
Okay. So in this extension process lo valaku just receipt number vaste they can continue to stay in United States, right?
That is correct.
Experiment. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah. So thank you for giving the more information on visitor visa. So we go the current today topic. Very, very important topic is the GC retrogression, right? Mm-hmm. So can you give the more treatments? The GC retrogression, ఇది యాక్చువల్ గా చాలా మందికి డిసప్పాయింట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చింది. సో ఎందుకంటే లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్ టుక్ టు December 1st, 2022. సో 2022 వరకు తీసుకెళ్ళేసి మళ్ళీ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ బ్యాక్ టు 2014 to April 2012. So do you have any information why they went back to the 2012? Though most of visas are clear, maybe 10, 12, 10, 11, 12, I think still they get back to the 2012. Do you have any more information on this one?
Yeah, I think that, if we look back actual గా 2020 లో చూసినప్పుడు ఏంటి అంటే 2020 సెప్టెంబర్ లో మనకు ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఫర్ ద అక్టోబర్ బులెటిన్ మనకి అవైలబుల్ అయ్యాయి. If you take a look at it, these are huge numbers, are huge forward movement in the process that in this entire 2-year process lo manaku అయింది because of pandemic వల్ల throughout the world చాలా US consulates to their full potential they didn't function. సో దానివల్ల ఏంటి ఆ ఫ్యామిలీ బేస్డ్ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ లో ఏవైతే నంబర్స్ ఉన్నాయో అవన్నీ వచ్చి దీనిలో యాడ్ అవ్వడము, ఇది ఫార్వర్డ్ మూమెంట్ అవ్వడము, విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ గుడ్ ఫర్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ నేషనల్స్. ఎందుకంటే దే టుక్ ది ఆపర్చునిటీ. చాలా మంది డౌన్ గ్రేడ్ చేసుకున్నారు, అగైన్ సంబడి interfile చేశారు. They do have now both EB3 and EB2. But yes, when they heard about the retrogression for October 2022 bulletin, which really went back 2 year 8 months retrogress అయింది EB2 చూసుకుంటే మనకి. Of course there is no retrogression in EB3, but EB2 చూసుకుంటే 2 year 8 months బ్యాక్లాగ్ అవ్వడం వల్ల ఏంటి అంటే కొన్ని పిటిషన్స్ అక్కడే స్ట్రక్ అయి ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ నేను ఈవెన్ నంబర్స్ పరంగా చూసుకుంటే కూడా అంటే మై ఇంటర్ప్రిటేషన్ ఈజ్ దో దే హ్యావ్ అంటే ఈ సెప్టెంబర్ వరకు నెంబర్స్ అయిపోయాయని వింటున్నాం మనము. బట్ యాజ్ ఇట్స్ న్యూ ఫిజికల్ ఇయర్ ఫస్ట్ క్వార్టర్ లో అవైలబుల్ ఉంటాయి సర్టెన్ నెంబర్స్. బట్ ఐ థింక్ దే ఆర్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ యాక్టింగ్ వెరీ ప్రికాషనరీగా ఇక్కడ ప్రికాషనరీ స్టెప్స్. ఎందుకంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఈ 485 చూసుకున్నట్టయితే చాలా మందికి ఒక ప్రాపర్ అంటే యూజువల్ గా యుఎస్సిఐఎస్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఎక్కువగా ఫస్ట్ ఇన్ ఫస్ట్ అవుట్ చేస్తారు పిటిషన్స్ అంతా. బట్ ఈ 485s లో ఐ డోంట్ సీ దట్ దే ఫాలోడ్ ఇట్. అండ్ అంటే వెన్ ఐ లుక్ ఇన్ టు అవర్ ఓన్ క్లయింట్స్ ఫైల్స్, సో లాస్ట్ వెళ్ళినవి ఫస్ట్ అడ్జుడికేట్ అయ్యాయి, ఫస్ట్ వెళ్ళినవి ఇంకా అక్కడే ఉన్నాయి. సో అండ్ అగైన్ ఈ అక్టోబర్ బులెటిన్ కి రిట్రోగ్రెస్ అవ్వడం వలన యాజ్ యూ సెడ్ yes, లాట్ ఆఫ్ క్లయింట్స్ రియలీ డిసప్పాయింటెడ్ విత్ ఇట్. బికాస్ ఆ టైం కి వాళ్ళు అన్ని డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఇచ్చి ఫైల్ చేసినా కూడా they just ended up having an EAD and advance parole but not really having the card. But what I would say is yes, USCIS lack of staff వల్ల వాళ్ళు ప్రాసెస్ ని అంత స్ట్రీమ్ లైన్ చేయలేకపోతా ఉన్నారు. అండ్ దెన్ వీ కెన్ సీ ఇన్ ద ప్రాసెస్ కొన్ని ట్రైనింగ్ ఇష్యూస్ కూడా ఉన్నట్టు కనిపిస్తా ఉన్నాయి మనకి. సో అంటే న్యూలీ ట్రైన్డ్ పీపుల్ అడ్జుడికేటింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ వే. సో I think we just have to wait and see. But however, as you said, it's disappointing. But most likely, the numbers will become available. But I cannot say anything on how forward movement it would be, because if we look into చాలా మంది డౌన్ గ్రేడ్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు కానీ all those things, petitions were adjudicated to certain time frame. So now as it went all the way back to April of 2012, so we just have to wait and see. So most likely this might be a strategy for streamlining any my interpretation.
Yeah, that's true. So main disappointed ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు అన్నట్టు న్యూ ఆఫీసెస్ ఇన్ యూఎస్ఏస్ ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళు మేబీ ప్రాపర్ ట్రైనింగ్ లేదు. లాస్ట్ గా అప్లై చేసిన వాళ్ళకి చాలా మందికి అప్రూవ్ అయిపోయింది. ఆల్రెడీ 2010, 11, 12 ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఇంకా స్టిల్ పెండింగ్ ఉన్నారు అనమాట. సో obviously kind of some frustration. So
yes, we can hear the frustration through phone calls from our clients. And I mean they are not angry, but at the same time that kind of frustration ante why మా ఫ్రెండ్ ది నాకంటే వెనకాల అప్లై చేసి వాళ్ళది ముందు అడ్జుడికేట్ అయింది. there is a tracking, like ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ కొలీగ్స్ పక్కన కూర్చొని వర్క్ చేసే వాళ్ళు ఒకరు ముందు ఒకరు వెనక చేయడము వెనక చేసిన వాళ్ళది అప్లై చేయడము. Definitely, I mean, if we put ourselves in the situation, definitely, that question arises. But it's very unfortunate that they are doing that. There is no answer to that at certain times, I mean, to clients. But yeah, we just have to go by what they are looking into. But yeah, unlike previous times, if there is a valid reason and if there is any violation kind of, definitely the people are not going back to bring a lawsuit. I mean, they're also putting those kind of pressure on the USCIS, so to make sure that they are adjudicating. In the process లోనే కాకుండా ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ అయినాక కూడా చాలా మందికి దట్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ మూవింగ్ ద ఫైల్ అట్ ఆల్. ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళినాక కొన్ని ఇన్స్టాన్సెస్ లో వేర్ దే సెడ్ ఓకే వీ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ ద డాక్యుమెంట్స్, వీ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఎనీథింగ్, but they are not adjudicating the case. And sometimes, yes, there are RFEs after the interviews for more documentation, but still that particular officer, who has the file at the local, regional, local office law, he or she is still sitting on that file, not really adjudicating. It's not moving forward. And we have couple cases like that, all the time. We are sending continuous communications to the local, field offices, but still those are not moving forward in any way.
Okay. So this visa allocation అనేది మనకు ఎట్లా అంటే ఫైనల్ file all verification is done, they can allocate, or where can it depends out when can they allocate this visa number for the particular applicant?
Yeah, I mean, usually, once the visa numbers at the current unnappudu, we file, right? So, once you file, they'll kind of adjudicate everything, making sure that they have all the documentation, and then, not each and every case is going for the interview. Interviews lekunda kuda, we are seeing those, and everything is not on the same lines. If they had to do the interviews, they had to do it for everybody, but that's not what we are seeing. Those discrepancies as well. కొంతమందికి చేయడము, కొంతమందికి just approve చేయడము, and then డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసిన తర్వాత కూడా లైక్ దే ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్. ఇప్పుడు మనకి సెప్టెంబర్ లో అక్టోబర్ బులెటిన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు దే సెడ్ ఇన్ ఆగస్ట్ సెప్టెంబర్ లో దే సెండ్ అవుట్ నోటిఫికేషన్ సేయింగ్ ఒకవేళ మీకు మెడికల్స్ వచ్చి ఉంటే ఇమీడియట్ గా పంపించండి, మేము అలొకేషన్ చేసి పెడతాము అని. But still, that is one thing, not really sure how they are following the protocol, but still a lot of cases are still sitting there, though they have all the documentation. And one more point I would like to, raise is, husband they approach చేయడము, dependent derivative beneficiaries like spouse and kids they ఇంకా అక్కడే ఉండడము, వాళ్ళది అప్రూవ్ అవ్వకపోవడము. These things we are seeing more in the past 3 to 4 months. Not really sure what is going on, because once you pick up the file, principal applicant and derivative beneficiaries, everybody should be allotted a number, and then they had to adjudicate those cases in a timely fashion. But they are approving husbands, and then wives and kids are sitting there sometimes. Principal applicant the chesi oka derivative beneficiary, other derivative beneficiaries think up pending. But in overall process, the thing is they had to validate everything. Once they have everything, that's when they allocate. But however, sometimes because of the medicals kanandi, background checks kanivandi, they have more questions, like sometimes based on the tick marks that you do on the 485 forms, like any citations kanivandi, arrest kanivandi, atla unnappudu those cases will be treated differently, in the sense that I mean, they need more information on those lines. So it all depends. But however, once the officer completes looking into it, that's when they are approving. And then if the number is not allotted, I mean not available, they'll complete it, and I think they'll keep the file ready for the approval.
Yeah. So just మీరు చెప్పిన ప్రకారం ఏంటంటే డెరివేటివ్ అంటే ప్రైమరీ అప్లికెంట్ అప్రూవ్ డెరివేటివ్ స్టిల్ పెండింగ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏమన్నా కాన్సిక్వెన్సెస్ ఏమన్నా అవుతాయా ఫ్యూచర్ లో? ఏమన్నా ఎటువంటి ఏమైనా ఇష్యూస్ వచ్చే అవకాశం ఉందా?
Usually, I mean, of course, once, like, let's say if the principal applicant's green card is approved, they are no longer on H1B. But however, will adjustment of status already file చేశారు 485 చేయకపోతే ప్రాబ్లం, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ 485 ఫైల్ చేసి ఏడీలో అడ్వాన్స్ పెరోల్స్ వచ్చి ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి they still have to continue moving forward with applying the EADs and advance paroles on time. The other strategy, what I also would recommend, is if the petition is sitting and then if the numbers are not available, like let's say ఇప్పుడు ఎవరిదన్నా August 2012 లో ఉందనుకోండి, సో నౌ అది ఏప్రిల్ వరకు వెళ్ళింది, we don't know when it comes to August or September. So best case scenario is the green card holder can file for the spouse and the kids, unmarried kids. Married అంటే ఏజ్ అవుట్ అయిపోయిన కిడ్స్ కి డిఫరెంట్, బట్ ఎస్ స్పౌస్ అండ్ కిడ్స్ కి గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ వాళ్ళు ఫైల్ చేయొచ్చు. అది ఇప్పుడు కరెంట్ ఉంది కాబట్టి దట్ ఈస్ వన్ అనదర్ స్ట్రాటజీ, ఫైలింగ్ an I-130 petition. I would recommend, if I mean, it is we don't know how the numbers are going to move, but that's one thing I recommend, filing I-130, having at least that in place and then proceeding further.
Okay, I think manaku oka caller join ayyinatundi. Yeah, just we will take a call and we can go for the next topic. Hello, welcome to Telugu NRI Radio. Evarandi call chesindi? 614-717-8594.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Yeah, మీ పేరు, మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తారు?
Yeah, hi. I'm Muhammad. Actually, I'm calling regarding that 485 application.
Yeah, please. Yeah, అడగండి మీ క్వశ్చన్.
Yeah, hello, Madam Kancharla garu. So actually, my case case got transferred to NBC on September 8th. So I just thought of asking, is that then they allocated my visa or not? I don't know.
Okay, so మీరు అంటే under what classification file చేశారు? డెరివేటివ్ బెనిఫిషియరీస్, ఎన్విసి అంటున్నారు. సో నేషనల్ వీసా సెంటర్ కి వెళ్ళి అక్కడ ఉందా అడ్జుడికేషన్? ఈజ్ ఇట్ ఫ్యామిలీ బేస్డ్? ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ క్లారిఫై మీ లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆన్ దట్.
ఇది మన ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ బేస్ లోనే అప్లై చేసాము చేస్తే, కానీ దానికి అదే ఇప్పుడు సెప్టెంబర్ 8 వీసాస్ అయిపోయినాయి అంటున్నారు. అవును.
సో మీరు కాన్సులర్ అప్లై చేశారా?
కాన్సులర్ కాదు, మన ఇక్కడ ఉండేది ఇప్పుడు యూఎస్ లోనే.
ఓ నేషనల్ బెనిఫిట్ సెంటర్ కి వెళ్ళింది అంటున్నారా మీ పిటిషన్?
అవును.
ఓకే.
అయితే ఇప్పుడు సెప్టెంబర్ 8 కి వీసాస్ అన్ని అయిపోయినాయి అంటున్నారు కదా. ఇప్పుడు నా కేసు ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయింది సెప్టెంబర్ 7 కి. సెప్టెంబర్ 8 కి కేసు అలొకేటెడ్ టు ఆఫీసర్ అని వచ్చింది.
Yeah, I mean, ఇప్పుడు కేస్ నంబర్స్ మనకి లేవు కాబట్టి you just have to wait based on the priority date, I mean, they'll adjudicate. So as అంటే అక్టోబర్ బులెటిన్ లో మనకి retrogress అయింది. So first quarter wait చేస్తే maybe we'll know more about when the actual numbers are going to be, I mean, వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు, ఎప్పటి వరకు, how they are going to take it forward. It will all depending upon that.
కానీ నా కేస్ నెంబర్ ఆల్రెడీ
what is your priority date? What is your
September 14th.
Oh, September 14th. Okay. So
yeah, it might be some time, by the time it comes to September 14th. Yeah.
So already
it got first quarter lo meer wait chesina kuda, I don't think it's going to come to that date anta forward.
Okay. So one more thing is, my brother is a priority date not current, but still they transfer to NBC.
No,
sometimes if they have
a process, is a process, underlining process, but it doesn't mean it gonna adjudicate. So as far as I seen the lot of cases, in last couple of weeks. So most of the cases in that day, even field officer దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళినా కానీ కేస్ స్టేటస్ updated to case remaining pending. So it means, so they verified all files, everything is good, but they don't have any visa numbers.
యూజువల్గా నేషనల్ బెనిఫిట్ సెంటర్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అంటే దే ట్రై టు సీ ఆల్ ద రిక్వైర్డ్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ చెక్ లిస్ట్ మీట్ అవుతుందా లేదా. సో వన్స్ దట్ ఈస్ దేర్, వాట్ దే డూ ఈస్ నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ ఈస్ transferring it to the NBC, and it will be sitting there just to have the number allocated.
Okay.
Over the next couple of weeks or a couple of months or maybe 4 to 5 months, we'll see how it will move forward.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Thank you. Yeah, Janetha, we are discussing about retrogression, and so yeah, I think we can go for the next topic, or it's just we got another caller added. 513-501-1707. We are welcome to Telugu NRI అండి. మీకు ఏమన్నా క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటే అడగొచ్చు. హలో. ఓకే. సో యా, సో చాలా మందికి ఇప్పుడు ఈజ్ కరెంట్ టిల్ December 1st, 2014. సో కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే చాలా మంది అప్లికెంట్ కి అడ్వాన్స్ పేరోల్ అండ్ ఆథరైజేషన్ కార్డ్ వచ్చింది. సో వీ కెన్ డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ ద జాబ్ పోర్టబిలిటీ. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెనిఫిట్ and what is the consequences, if anything? What is the issues? Maybe if you change the job, one company to other company, is there any issues? We can discuss point wise. The first, please explain what is a job portability and how it will apply.
Once 485 file చేసిన తర్వాత you will have 180 days. 180 days complete అయిన తర్వాత if you find another employment with another employer with the same or similar position, then definitely you can do a portability. So portability annappudu enti anante the prospective employer will sign the 485J, and then accepting that yes under the portability they do have the job opportunity available, and then they have to list out under what SOC code, what are the job duties, what's the salary is going to be. So making sure that portability chesetappudu, one thing you make sure that 180 days are completed, first thing, because that's when you get the eligibility. Second thing is, before moving out or doing the portability, make sure that looking into the SOC codes or same or similar occupation. So let's say, for example, a person filed his 485 under on a laborer, let's say it's as a developer, for example. So but however his new position is as a senior developer, so that is still that should be absolutely fine under the portability if he is moving to the prospective employer under the portability with a senior software developer. But let's say if it is a different maybe a database administrator or a managerial position which is not falling in the same SOC code, that's when the problems arise. So chala precautionary ga, careful ga they had to look into, especially I would say just get the legal advice, definitely providing your labor, and then the 485J that was filed during 5, and then the prospective employer's job offer, making sure that everything is falling within the same lines. If not, then you might encounter the consequences would be, because it's not falling under the same or similar occupation, you might have a denial. But very rarely they do. But however, if it is definitely deviating from the SOC codes, of course you'll have a denial. But make sure the andarki telsin point that whenever you are moving on AC21, so definitely you will be doing the portability, and then that portability should be in the same or similar occupation. That is the very important step that I would recommend that one should follow.
Okay, so I think manaku 2 callers on our line lo, just we can take a call and we can go for the next question. So welcome to Telugu NRI. ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు? 513, the phone number is 513-501-1707. You can go for your question. Hello? Yeah, your voice is not coming. Maybe you're talking, but you're not. Your voice is not coming. Maybe can you check your mute or something? Hello. Okay. So మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా just call whenever you're ready. We can take your call. Thank you. So, Janetha garu, ఇప్పుడు 485 supplement J submit చేసేటప్పుడు what are the documents required to submit to the USCS?
485J, I know portability చేసేటప్పుడు the main important thing is, as I said, making sure that it is same or similar. But 485J itself, because usually when you file the 485 application adjustment of status, mandatory requirement is 485J చేయాలి. అట్లాగే సేమ్ పోర్టబిలిటీ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా న్యూ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ ఎంప్లాయర్ నుంచి 485J itself is enough. So, and employee signing it and employer signing it, and who is the preparer of that particular 485J, they will be signing the 485J and then sending it to the service center where your 485 is actually sitting. So that way it gets updated. I mean, you don't have to send any other, other supporting documents, but definitely they can include, the offer letter that is being signed, but that's not mandatory. 485J signed document alone will, act as, because, that's of course signed by the employer. So that's enough for the portability.
Okay. సో నాకు ఇక్కడ ఒక చిన్న సెనారియో ఉన్నది, మీ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో చెప్పండి. సో one applicant applied in GC applied in EB3 with the concurrent I-140. I-140 got approved, and EB2, it means whatever we see in October 2020 and later this year, April, maybe June 2020, it got current, right, in EB2, most of the 2023, 2013 and 2014. So here, if we put it the EB2 current time, so it applied the interfile with supplement J. So the candidate want to look the job portability. So in future, USCS, అది ఏది కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేసేందుకు? ఇక్కడ 2 కేటగిరీస్ ఉన్నాయి, EB3 అండ్ EB2 ఉన్నది కదా. సో 485 ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు EB3 కేటగిరీ చూస్తుందా, EB2 కేటగిరీ చూస్తుందా?
I would say when interfile happened, I mean, they look into which is available. But of course, and most of the scenarios, ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పినట్టు డౌన్గ్రేడ్ చేసి EB3కి చేసినప్పుడు, when the date became current in EB2, వాళ్ళు interfile చేసేసారు. Most of the interfiles got cleared as far as I know. So, I mean, most of them. But then, interfile చేసినప్పుడు ఏంటి అని అంటే, you are saying that there was a pending petition that is still, in place, 485. So, ఆ 485 ని మన interfiling ద్వారా EB2కి అప్లై చేయమని చెప్తున్నాము. So they will be looking into, EB2 because, that's the date which is current. EB3 current లేదు కాబట్టి మనం interfiling చేసాం, EB2 current ఉంది కాబట్టి. So EB2 dates will be applicable, and most of them already received their green cards with, for the interfiling that was done.
Okay. So I think callers got added. Maybe we can go for the question. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
మీ పేరు ఏం పేరు, మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తారు?
నా పేరు శివ అండి, నేను ఇక్కడ డెమోయిన్ అయోవా స్టేట్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను.
Yes, Shiva.
చెప్పండి.
సో ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అండి, నాకు సేమ్ 2014 ఆగస్ట్ నాది ప్రియారిటీ డేట్. సో దానిలో నేను మొన్న కరెంట్ మే మంత్ లో EB2 కరెంట్ అయినప్పుడు ఇంటర్ఫైల్ చేశాను. సో I-485J అప్లై చేశాను. సో మై కేస్ గాట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్డ్ ఇన్ సెప్టెంబర్, ఆన్ September 1st. ఓకే, ఆన్ September 16th I got RSE like 15 days back, saying that okay, my medicals are about to expire, so I need to resend those medicals again. సో ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే మేడం, అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఆ మెడికల్స్, ఇప్పుడు మా డాటర్ షీ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు టర్న్ 14 years in the month of December, in couple of months. So should I wait until she turns 14, or I can, I mean, is there any age limit? Because one of my friends said If anybody turned 14 again, they have to go to medicals again.
It's not about turning 14, but when the USCIS comes back and asks you for medicals, that's when you have to provide. Ante konni times మీరు proactive గా provide చేసినా కూడా they'll again come back. So what we are suggesting to clients is it's up to you. We are leaving most of it up to the clients. Along with yours, if you really want to submit your daughters, yes, you can include that kind of cover letter, her 485 receipt notices and her medicals and all. But here, they are only asking about yours. So what I would recommend is just go ahead and submit yours. But me daughter we వాళ్ళు అడగొచ్చు అడగకపోవచ్చు, so we don't know. So but if they come back and ask your daughters, yes, you'll end up doing it again, for your daughter.
So, no.
Because
They
that's why
my daughter. Sorry to interrupt. So అందరు మా వైఫ్ నాది మా డాటర్ ముగ్గురు అడిగారు మెడికల్స్. సో క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు సో దే సెడ్ ఐ కెన్ రెస్పాండ్ టు దట్ RFE till February 1st, 2023. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ముగ్గురు ఇప్పుడు రైట్ అవే పంపించడం బెటరా, లేకపోతే 14 years తర్వాత, అంటే డిసెంబర్లో ఆమె 14 టర్న్ అవుతాయి కదా, జనవరిలో అలా తీసి జనవరిలో పంపిస్తే అట్లా బెటర్ అనే పాయింట్.
I don't think so. There is any age limit on those lines. What I would recommend, as they asked now, of course they gave a deadline. That doesn't mean that you have to wait till that deadline. So if you are my client, I would advise just do it right away for all 3 people. Medicals chesi పంపించేసేయండి as soon as possible.
Okay. And one more thing, madam. So my daughter, as I said, I applied EB3 first initially, October 2020. And recent ga May lo I applied I-485J to interfile to EB2. So EB2 lo నాకు ఇంకా రాలేదు కదా. So my I-485 just says fee waived or something, that status. So am I considered under EB3 or EB2 now?
Yeah, see, as you have EB3, then your EB2 date become correct. That's why you interfiled. So ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే మీకు 485 పెండింగ్ ఉందో దాన్ని తీసుకొచ్చి EB2 లో అడ్జుడికేట్ చేయమని చెప్తున్నారు, because that's what the interfiling means. You didn't file another 485. You're asking them to adjudicate it under the EB2 criteria, right? So now they will consider it only for the EB2 criteria.
సో మా డాటర్ ఇప్పుడు 14 years కదా. సో 3 months ఆఫ్టర్ ఐ ఇంటర్ఫైల్డ్ 485J, సో 3 months కరెంట్ ఉంది నాకు ప్రియారిటీ డేట్. సో మై డాటర్ ఏజ్ గాట్ లాక్డ్, ఆర్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ EB3, మై డాటర్ ఏజ్ విల్ నాట్ బి లాక్డ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ మై యాక్చువల్ పాయింట్.
Once you filed a 485 for her, she is good.
No, 485, 485 we applied on EB3, so I'm based on filing chart tax.
Yeah, now again you interfiled it with EB2. So, for everybody it is considering under the EB2 criteria. So
I can assume
the age out consider IAD after 21, not for the 14. So she will be good now. So you don't even have to worry about that aging out thing. So you already filed the 485 for that. Because whatever you filed under the EB3 category, through interfiling, you asked them, requested them to be adjudicating under the EB2 criteria.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, that's all.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shiva. Yeah. So we can take another question from mobile. So, anyone? Yes, please go ahead if you have any question. Hello? The phone number is 614-390-5158. Do you have any question to ask today? Okay. So, yeah, that's fine. So, Janetha, just we are talking about the job portability, right? Let's say applicant have the I-114, EB3 and EB2 in same company. So after ఏంటంటే పోర్టబుల్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత వేరే కంపెనీ పోర్టబుల్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత so both category can use, or how does it work in after portability to educate the GC?
Yeah, అంటే మీరు 485J చేసేటప్పుడు దాంట్లో you had to go ahead and give out your 485 receipt notice. So if you have two separate petitions, I mean, which one you want to consider, that's what you will be giving. So I would say, most likely, I mean, most of the people, what they do is, go under the EB2, unless and until, it's just a couple of months away from, EB3. They have both in place. Not everybody's situation is same, but yeah, I mean.
So last 1.5 year most of the cases ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ EB2 ఉన్న వాళ్ళు మొత్తం EB3 డౌన్గ్రేడ్ చేసుకున్నారు, తర్వాత ఇంటర్ఫైల్ చేశారు అనమాట. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద సినారియోస్ సేమ్. సో ఇఫ్ ఎనీ వన్ పర్సన్ యూజ్ ద జాబ్ పోర్టబిలిటీ, ఇఫ్ జాబ్ చేంజ్ అయిన తర్వాత, సో దే డూ హ్యావ్ ద both EB3, EB4, EB2, EB3, I-140s. సో జాబ్ పోర్టబిలిటీ తర్వాత మనము USCIS కి రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. విచ్ ఎవర్ ద కేటగిరీ విల్ కమ్ ఫస్ట్, వీ కెన్ యూజ్ those numbers or something?
They will use that. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు EB2 నుంచి 3 కి డౌన్గ్రేడ్ చేసినా కూడా మీకు both petitions ఉన్నా కూడా it's based on the same labor. So what I mean to say is portability చేసినప్పుడు the job title, job duties, it should be same or similar, right? So
same benefits.
as long
it means
my same ఉంటాయి usually. ఎందుకంటే when you downgraded, you are using pretty much the same labor and just asking them to re-adjudicate the I-140 under EB3 category, right? So appudu మీకు ఒకే లేబర్ ని యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో యాజ్ ఫార్ యాజ్ ఐఎమ్ కన్సర్న్డ్, ఆ జాబ్ టైటిల్ లో కానీ డ్యూటీస్ లో కానీ ఏం చేంజ్ ఉంటుంది, బికాస్ ఇట్స్ స్టెమింగ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద సేమ్ లేబర్.
Okay. So my question is, the same benefits will get even though we portable job with other company, right?
Yeah, that is correct. అంటే మీరు ఆ 485J చేసేటప్పుడు అక్కడ మీకు వన్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ విల్ బి ఇన్ ద సెక్షన్స్ లో 485 నంబర్ ఇవ్వమని అడుగుతారు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ గివ్ 485 నంబర్ related to EB2 or EB3, based on that they will, the portability is applicable on those in that manner.
Okay. I think a caller add here. Just let me take the one caller and we can go for the next question. The caller 9526818760. Maybe you can go for your question. Hello.
Hi. My question is, I have EAD approved after downgrading. I was wondering, can I switch my job at this moment, or can I use EAD and work independently?
So can you give us some background? What is your priority date and which category you applied, and what is the EAD status?
My priority date is December 30th, 2014, and initially filed EB2, and then recently downgraded to EB3, and I got the EAD. And then the priority date has retrogressed, right? So I have EAD, but I was hoping for green card, so likely not going to get anytime soon. So I was wondering, can I quit my employer's job and then use my EAD until my green card comes?
So are you asking that, you can just use EAD independently and then, work wherever you want, or I didn't understand that question.
That was my question.
Okay, I don't recommend that, because of course when you are working on the EAD, there is an underlying 485 petition. So, I mean, you should be working for, as we said, portability we were talking about. So, it should be in the same or similar. And then, when you say you are working independently, who is your employer? I mean, when time comes for adjudication, like, the actual dates become current. If an RFE comes and then, if they ask you to submit a 485J for that where you are working, so that's not recommendable at all, working independently, because, I mean, there is a sponsorship required here all the time, unless and until it is falling in that EB1 criteria. So definitely, I recommend working with any of the employers, not really independently.
So I work as a contractor right now, and the client is asking me to become a full-time employee. Can I switch? Can I switch to the client, become a full-time employee, and ask them to file a new
485J? Yes, definitely. If the as per the portability, if you are qualified under that, if you are finished 180 days, definitely. But make sure that it is in the same or similar position. So as long as it is in the same or similar position, yes, you can ask the client to sign, give you a signed 485J and submit it with the USCIS, and then you can go ahead and start with your, full-time employment opportunity with the end client.
So will I continue to remain on H-1B, or will I have to use EAD and join the client?
When you use your EAD, so that's what you are on. So you will be renewing your EADs. But usually most of the time, when the dates retrogress and then you don't have the immediate adjudication, of course you are entitled to have your H-1B renewals. So most of the attorneys, including me, recommend maintaining the given H-1B status. The reason is if something happens to your 485, at least by maintaining the given H-1B, you will have a fallback status on. Because if you want to fight for your 485, something happens to it, then you'll have a H-1B status. Then defaultly, you can work on appeals or whatever it is. But however, if you don't maintain your H-1B, and then if something happens and if it gets denied, you will not be given that kind of opportunity to stay inside the country and then fight for your 485. So it's always recommendable, if you can, maintaining the H-1B would be beneficial, because it always acts as a fallback status.
So one last question, because I am joining the client for the same position that I'm currently working. So same or similar job is the criteria, right? That shouldn't be a problem, right, in this case?
Yes, as long as it's the same or similar, matching the SOC code, whatever was for the labor was applied for. So, making sure, and also the employer signing the 485J and using the same or similar codes, because if it is same or similar, yes, of course, it falls under the same category. But just making sure that, everything is correct, and then, filing the 485J on time would help you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. So, Janetha, just we can go for the next question. Maybe we can discuss about the advanced payroll. Correct. So, there's a lot of applicant is still confused when we use this advanced payroll. So, just we can take a one scenario. We can go for it. So let's say current 485 process is under process and got EAD and advanced payroll. So the same applicant have the H1B until December 2023. So due to some emergency in India, he want to travel to India, but in visa consulate is we don't get any slot for the consulate, right? So you don't have any chance to go to the consulate and get stamp and get back on H1, but he want to use the advanced payroll. Let's say he used the advanced payroll. What is the status after he come back to the United States? Is automatically changed to the GC EAD or something, or he had?
Yeah, he can definitely, that's what the advanced parole is for. So, as a lot of people are struggling to get appointments at the consulates throughout. So, in this scenario, as you mentioned, if the person is having an advanced parole, yes, he is having that kind of flexibility to use the advanced parole to travel. Advanced parole is not for work, it's only for travel. When we say EAD, employment authorization documents, that's what we use for work purposes. Advanced parole is used only for travel purposes. So it's, the word itself, very self-explanatory. If a person uses an advanced parole, to go in and out of the country. Of course, he's just using it for travel. And as soon as he comes back, he should be good to, go ahead and still continue working on the H-1B status. So as long as he's not updating, the employer is not updating the I-9 with the EAD, that's when he actually uses his EAD. But yes, there is a memo. I kind of forgot the memorandum name, but there is a memo which allows them to use the advanced parole for travel purposes and then come back and continue working on the H-1Bs.
Okay, but when we use the advanced parole, we can get only the 1 year of I-94 validity, right? So after 1 year, which status he fall into? The still H1? Because the H1 I-94 and the new I-94 are different, but the state, maybe the status could be the conflict, right? Is any conflict between these two or something? Or?
I don't think there is any conflict, but as long as, next time when they are going for the H extensions, of course, this one will be given for the shorter time frame. Maybe in the meantime, if there is an amendment or if the visa slots are available, they could just go out and come back. But, just what I would recommend is each individual person should, let their employers know this is what they are doing. And, after coming back, they kind of, extend the H-1B that way, that is one beneficial thing where when you enter on the advanced parole, that validity is there only for, a full year, not more than that. Your H-1B might be valid well beyond that time frame. So maybe if any amendment or H-1 extensions, required within that same time frame, as you will be eligible for, filing 6 months before. So go ahead and do that. That's one advice I can, state here.
Okay, this scenario based on the H1 and advanced parole. Let's say if any applicant want to use the GCEAD, he want to go out, come back on advanced parole. The same scenario, they will get the 1 year of I-94, right? So will they stay more than 1 year while they are using GCEAD in United States or?
No, when you try to use the EAD, so, there is a certain valid time frame for that particular EAD. So, and you are eligible to extend 180 days before the EAD expires. And of course, you are also eligible to continue working based on the pending, EAD application, unlike other applications, because this is based on the adjustment of status. So you can continue working. So, but, making sure that you are filing timely EADs as long as you are planning to work on those EADs. And then you can also apply EAD and advanced parole together as well.
Okay. So yeah, one caller got added. We can take a question from him. So the phone number 84734-3024. You can go for your question. Hello? I think, are you in mute? I'm not hearing your voice. Hello? Okay, your voice is not audible to us. So yeah, the same scenario, just I have another question. One applicant is applied in October 2020 in EB3 is with concurrent I-140. Is still I-140 is still pending, but he got advanced payroll and EAD. The later in April at current in EB2, he applied the new 485. So in new 485, he got only EAD, not advanced payroll. So if he want to go to the India and he want to use the old EAD, EB3 EAD, if come back to the United States, will
you
see
mean
any
to say
consequence?
old advanced parole?
Advanced payroll, yeah, EB3 advanced payroll.
I wouldn't really recommend using it because, the I-140 is still pending adjudication. Of course, he is entitled for the benefit, but as he already have another, filing under the EB2 where he already got an EAD, maybe he can kind of, expedite the advance parole using a congressional intervention, or, asking for showing that, he needs to travel, there is an emergency, and then, expediting in that manner. I definitely recommend to wait for the EB2 advance parole and traveling on that one, not to really use anything related to the EB3 here, because the underlying I-140 is still pending.
Still pending, okay. Yeah, got you. So, yeah, if any caller ready to ask your question, we can go for question, if anyone. I think add a couple of callers. Yeah.
My name is Shiva. I have a question on the advance parole. Actually, my advance parole is until next year, now until November end. So, we can apply for extension 6 months before, right? So, I'm planning to apply for it. During the extension, if it is still impending, can I go out of country? Because I already have the existing advance parole.
Usually regarding the advance parole, when you leave, when the advance parole petition is pending adjudication, it will automatically denied. But however, if you still have validity on your current one, you'll try to re-enter. So my recommendation is travel first and come back, then apply for your advance parole extension. So that way you are not risking the denial on those lines.
Okay, so in case if I come by November, say by November 15th or so, I can come back. And once I come back, can I? Right. Yeah, once I come back, I can apply extension too, right, there at the time?
That's correct, yes. Once you come back within the validity time frame of your current advance parole, you should still be able to extend your advance parole.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
See, when you actually say that, you are eligible for advance parole extension 180 days before, but however, if you have travel plans in that one, I always recommend, just hold on to your extension. So go travel out first, come back in, and then do it. Because, you have 180 days, that doesn't mean you have 180 days before. Especially, when you do EAD, leave, but for advance parole, when it is pending adjudication, you really cannot leave the country. So if you obviously have travel plans, travel first, come back, and then, do the advance parole renewal.
Okay. Yeah, on the same line, my wife has, she also has the advance parole, but next year we have the extension, and but by the time I do extension, she'll be out of country at the time. So I'm planning for an appointment, H4 appointment in India. So my question is, but by the time she comes back, her advance parole might be expired. Once she come back, can she apply for extension even after advance parole is expired? Because she'll be coming back on H4.
Yes, she can go for a new advance parole as long as she still have the underlying 485 pending. All you need for the advance parole is in the 485 receipt notice. So, and then she'll go for the asking for 1 full year of advance parole again whenever she's asking.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, if anyone ready for question, we can go for the next question. Hello. I think your voice is not. Yes, now it's good. Go for it. Hello. So your voice is not coming out. Can you check from your side? Are you in mute or something? Okay. So, Janetha, we can go for the next question until they call back, or maybe they call back. So, we are talking about the consulate, right? Still, a lot of consulates have pending applications. So, do you have any information from consulate? How will they process, or how they can reduce the petitions for next couple of months or a couple of quarter or something?
You mean to say the
visa consulate
regular
and the regular
visa
visa.
Yeah, I mean, most of the consulates, I mean, came back in big time to their full potential, but, still, I think, a lot of training issues and then, things like that, and then, lack of staff, similar to how the USCIS is going. I mean, I had an information that, Department of State is adding, more, I mean, it's, staffing. So hopefully, throughout the world, I mean, they will, quickly go to their full potential. But however, if you are looking into, as we see, a lot of people, they haven't traveled, in the past 2 years because of the pandemic. And then, I mean, most are doing it right now. And then if you see the appointments at the consulate, I mean, they are not available. And for some, like classifications like, B2, they are not even opening up right now. So, I mean, at least, I mean, 6 to 7 month wait time, they had to go through the third party consultancy, to secure, appointments and stuff like that. This is same, throughout the world with the many of the consulates, because of, they have a limitation on, how many appointments they'll do in a day. So, it goes by that. But still, we are hearing a lot of complaints from the clients that they are not able to, get, the appointment slots available as per their requirements.
Yes.
I mean, but the information is they are trying to, add more staff to it, but we don't know how quickly it will happen.
Yeah, even recently we are seeing the business visas and visitor visas. Maybe they should wait for almost 1.5 years or 2 years to get the appointment. So most of the most of the people are looking for the visitor visa, but for a new slots, but they are not getting.
That's
So
true.
hopefully,
That's true. That's what we are hearing. Yeah. I think
So,
now their
Janetha,
priority is especially the employment-based, visas,
employment, I
especially
think,
because
fee,
that's a kind
student
of
visa
contribution
increase.
towards that. Yeah, F1 is, prior, having a priority than the work visa as well. So
Work visa as well.
F1 is on the card. Yes, yeah.
So, Janetha, I have one question on R1 visa is a priest. R1 is a priest visa. So I'm not sure this is a question. If any priest visa convert change of status from visitor to R1, will it possible? Or maybe if any priest come on visiting visa, he want to try to transfer or change of status to the R1.
They can, try. Yeah, they can try doing the change of status to R1 as long as, the priest position is opened up in that certain, non-profit organization. And then this particular person is qualified for that. Yes, they should be able to. But again, however, it all depends upon case to case, based on the case credentials.
Okay. So generally, the who came on United States on visitor visa will change to the another category. Will it possible?
Yeah, they will. Yeah. They do change to, H1Bs, F1s, it all depends upon, but not right away, immediately. At least, I definitely recommend, waiting at least for 60 days and then, going for those change of status, because at least they can overcome that intent part. So
overcome to intent part. Okay. So, Janetha, it means already we began the 1 hour and 3 minutes. If you have some time, we can go for the couple of questions, or else we can. I
think this. I'm fine for another. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So just we can discuss about this the visa numbers, right? So last year, 2022, it got added 140,000. So they cleared lost a lot of green cards. So this year it will add only the 60,000 apart from the 140,000, right? So still it means still is confusion area here. So do you have any more information how would be allocated to the, basically I'm talking about the only Indian nationals. So how many numbers will add this year? Maybe how much the Indians can be
I
benefited
think,
out
see,
of it?
the standard number will always be added, but again, however, I guess it all depends upon more numbers might be added towards the end of the fiscal year. The reason is, if any leftover from the family based on, the interviews that they are being conducted, like, let's take in India, the family-based, interviews can be done only, the family-based adjudications for that matter of fact, can only be done in Mumbai consulate, not any others, right? So I also heard that, these it's increased in, up till. So maybe if they have any leftovers from that, that definitely might be added towards the end of the year. But I guess, it's, a combined work of the Department of State and the USCIS based on, how they want to, collaboratively, work towards. But looks like either way is, highly depending upon the numbers that are left over. But however, if you take each year, those standard numbers always be there.
Yeah. So hopefully this year also will clear most of the GC numbers with a very streamlined process, so that everyone will be benefited and moving forward to the next coming years. So
yeah, because if you see in the past 20 years or so, at any point of time, the numbers didn't really go waste. So, even last year and this year, if you see, they wasted a lot of numbers. Most of the people would have been, really on the advantageous side if the cases got adjudicated on time, and then, that backlog would have been, cleared out, for no reason, they added, and again, they were not having that capacity to, adjudicate the cases on those lines. And then, of course, it's not only with the USCIS. If you see throughout, reduction in the workforce, and then, after the pandemic specifically, to find the trained personnel, becoming very difficult.
yeah, thank you. I think I'm seeing a couple of phone callers, voice issues. If they are good, we can go for take a question. Maybe. Please ask your question. Anyone? Hello? Okay. So, yeah, I think I've done today the special live interview with Janetha on USA immigration system. So all listeners, please maybe call or email to Janetha if you have any questions. Maybe if you want to personally talk to the Janetha, or if you have any personal scenarios, send to Janetha at janethalaw.com, or you can call to 703-880-6409. The office is Law Office of Janetha or Kancharla. So, yeah, thank you, Janetha, being with Telugu NRI Radio today, and thanks for your efforts and servicing to the community. We always appreciate to you to giving more information on immigration system, complexity of US immigration system. So we are trying to get more and more information to the community that will help to them to take their decisions on immigration systems. Just though this is a medium of information, just we are trying to give the information, but maybe you can check with your attorney if you have any, if you want to more information, or if you have any other question, please check with your attorney and then proceed to further step. Yeah, Janetha, you can share.
Thank you, Venkat Garu. Yeah. Thank you, Venkat Garu, and then thank you, NRI Radio, for the wonderful opportunity that you gave me. So, through your, Telugu NRI Radio, at least I got an opportunity to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your service.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, listeners, విన్నారు కదా టుడే తెలుగు NRI రేడియో conducting a special live interview with Janetha on immigration. Maybe you can also send an email to TeluguNRI@gmail.com. If you have any question on immigration, we will address those questions, and we will route to the attorneys. Maybe we are conducting more of USA immigration system with different attorneys. Maybe you can connect in other sessions, and you can clarify your question in other sessions. Thank you for whoever called today, and we'll meet next time. Until then.